If you haven't used Google Drive before, I would recommend that you try it out. It is probably the easiest way to work on a document collaboratively, and accounts at the University of Minnesota have access to Google Apps, so do many other places. And you can easily open a Google account and have access to all of these Google tools, including 15 gigabytes now of storage that you can use for cloud documents and files. It allows you to create both the equivalent of a Word document or document, a presentation, a spreadsheet, create forms, and there are other less common types of documents that are part of the Google extended web store, but in general people create document presentations, spreadsheet, forms, and drawings. To create one, you just go to your account. In this case, I'm signed in, and it's all linked to the Google Plus system, and then click on the document. And as soon as it's open, you're already working on a document. You may want to title it so that you can share it easily, but it allows you to have a track record also of who makes changes. So to just share a file, let's say we wanted to work on a letter together, and I'm going to copy a letter in Spanish from Word. There are many reasons why I still like to work with Microsoft Word. It has a lot of options, from smart art to charts to the way it does references. It just helped me a lot to work with Word. But anytime I'm doing something collaboratively, it's so much easier for me to use a Google Doc than any other tool, even though I gotta say that SkyDrive, which is the equivalent to Google Apps by Microsoft, has improved considerably, and it's pretty similar to using a Google Doc. These documents are also all Word documents in the cloud. Universities either have Google Apps or they tend to support SkyDrive. Here we support Google Apps. So what makes Google Drive unique is how, in a sense, bare bones and easy to use the structure is. It's not cluttered with options. It has what you need to make a collaborative document, and it has some editing functions, but it's basically set up so that it can work easily across many computers with an internet connection. And what you want to do is share the document. They start as private. To share, click on the corner, click share, and then you can change your privacy settings. I'm going to make it public on the web in this case, but people to have access to it, it can be web crawled, but in general I have to share the link, or I could submit it to one of these social media sites. But if you want to work with somebody, you send an invitation. If they have Google Apps, then they'll be able to join. If not, they can also, people can make anonymous edits to it if you change it here and change the access to edit or comment. But in this case, I just want this other person to edit, and I'll tell them join me, or just provide feedback in this letter. To this letter. And you can send a copy to yourself if you want to, the email. But basically, now this other person, which is another account that I have in Google Docs and the whole Google App Suite, will get an email and an invitation to this document. So this is the documents that I have in my Google Drive, and these are some of the folders. The folder structure could be a little bit better. If there's one strength that in my opinion, Microsoft or SkyDrive has still, or one of the benefits that it has, is that it organizes things better. The organization in Google Docs, it's not that good, which is in a way surprising since they are a search engine and they do rely a lot in the search bar. But many times, even title words for the documents, I can type it up there and it will not show, and I can change the folder to share with me, to my drive, and it would be hard to find some documents. So their way of classifying documents and organizing them could be better, and that's not just my opinion. I talk to other people that do get frustrated once you have a lot of Google documents. So it's really important that you title it in a way that you can use the search bar to find it. If you do a lot of documents that are similar, that's also maybe a problem. But some of these documents are not mine. For example, this one was last modified by Roberto. So we'll open that one. And I haven't seen this one in a long time, but It includes, for example, events that GAPSA held in the spring of 2013, and Roberto made the last edit on February 18th, 2013. If I see the revision history, I just gotta go to File, Revision History. I can see that I first worked on this document. Apparently, I probably copied it from a Word document, and then Roberto made changes to these times. Now, not only can you see a very detailed changes history of a document, but you can actually revert to any version that you want to. So let's say you make a document and you share it openly and anybody can access it, and then you're worried that somebody's going to mess up your document. Well, every version is saved, so you can always revert to a different version. Not only that, you can always make a copy. So sometimes I make backup copies of documents. You can download it in any of these formats, but you can also click make a copy, and then you have a copy for safekeeping in a particular format. So sometimes when I'm working in a paper and I want to keep a version of the paper that I feel is the strongest version, but it's a collaborative paper, so it's a give and take process. So I end up deciding, well, okay, let's make those changes, but I still want to keep my original work. I can make a copy of it and keep the original work somewhere in my Google Drive. Not that most of the time I ever see it again, but you can do that. So I'll show you again a little bit more about, for example, how presentations work. So let's go into this presentation. Similar, you can just make changes. I mean, you can see there's a lot of formatting options. It's not as nice as using Keynote, which is the Apple program, or using the equivalent of Microsoft PowerPoint, but it is pretty powerful. It has slide transitions that you can add. So here is the themes, layouts, change the backgrounds, add word art. I mean, it has a lot of tools. And again, you can see the revision history on the file, and let's see if it shows up. So Brittany Edwards and I worked on this document, and you can see an iterative process of going back and forth and improving the document over time, and probably included deleting some slides, etc. But if at the end I wanted to make a copy of this document, I could restore that version and then save that version if I want to. So that's one of the nice things of working with Google Docs. Again, all you have to do is, in this case you can present the line, but in this case you just want to share it, click share, select the people you want to share with, which could be a Google group, so you could share it to a whole group of people if you want to, and allow them to edit or just comment. So I haven't mentioned the commenting function, but let's go ahead and open a spreadsheet and I'll show you guys how that works. Just gonna open a spreadsheet. So I was buying a car the other day because I totaled my car, so I made this nice spreadsheet that includes the Craigslist ad, the price from the Kelly Blue Book, the VIN number, I checked it with Carfax, and other details, and I use color coding. My wife would look at this as well, so I basically click share and I share with her and she can edit. This is private because I didn't want people to know what cars I'm trying to buy, but now you can see visit that I ended up making. But if I wanted to just make a comment on this document, I could insert a comment, and then this comment's kind of like opening a ticket to the document, so people can come in and resolve it if they want to. Take too long. It got pretty cold. Don't total your car in the middle of the winter. It's not as fun as it will be, or it's more of a hassle than in the summer, especially when you can't get to the rental place because there's too much of a snowbank. But basically, she would get a message of this comment, and then she can come back to her account and reply to it, and I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys how that works. So this is also shared with the other account that I own, so it's called Accord Car Search. So we'll go here and we'll type Accord Car Search. So see, if it works well when sometimes the search engine, sometimes it has disappointed me, but in this case it worked pretty well. And now I can look for the comment. The comment's right there, and I go, yeah, snowbanks can get on the way. Okay, Good. So now you see I started a conversation, and then Ellie could come and resolve it. And now if I go over here to the first one, you'll see that this will eventually update. It doesn't take that long most of the time. So let's refresh the page, and it should now include, yep, the second comment. Now, comments are, so if you want somebody to provide feedback on a paper or something like that, you can just give them commenting access. So if you write an essay and you want your advisor to just comment on it, it's not as good as track changes in some ways, and the revision history doesn't work as nicely as track changes in Microsoft Office, because it's not like you accept or deny any change. They'll make the change. If you want to just go and see a detailed history of the changes and revert to some of them, you can, but you cannot pick and choose. It goes chronologically, so you have to either take all the changes to the last one or stop at a point and then go back. But so in that sense, tracking changes in an Office document, in my opinion, works a lot better. So if you're using a document that you want your advisor to make changes, not just comment, then I would probably recommend a Microsoft Word document. If you are just making comments on it, a Google Doc will work just fine. What's nice, if you're working on a project together, you have this one other viewer here, which is me in this other tab, and I can chat to that person. The chats are not saved. So while, as you saw, the document history is saved, the chat's not saved. So then I'm just... So this chat's just temporary. It's there. It's going to be gone. And I can share this document to as many people as I want to. And if I want to export it, I can export it as in this case, an Excel file. So I can export it as an Excel or see comma separated values, etc. as a spreadsheet. So that's the spreadsheet. I show you a little bit about the presentation. Let's just paste some text from Word in here. This is a letter I wrote this morning. Let's just paste it over there. And now, if I went to the other account and I open the text document, again, I'll be able to just open it up, and now there's two people in this document. You can see the other little icon there, and they can start chatting. Once you have access, you can change the title. You can do a lot of things to it. If somebody gives you access, it allows many things. You can add hyperlinks. You can change the alignment. You can add lists. You can change the spacing. You can change you can make the same elements as Word. You can use headings, etc., and add those to a table of contents. So it even has a table of content as well. I'll show you table of contents here. It has a header, a footer. It has a lot of the similar tools. One of the aspects that I wanted to go over quickly that I haven't yet, that I also think is important, is that what if you already have a Word document, but you want to convert it into a Google Doc because you want to share it? And remember, all you need is their email. And you can also share folders. Again, when you create it, you can actually create a whole folder. But if you want to upload, you can upload a file or a folder. When let's in this case upload a file, let's say I wanted to upload this Word document. Would this one be a good one? Well, sure. I mean, I think it's something I never finished, or I haven't finished yet. But it then gives you an option. You can either convert the document to a Google Doc format or keep it as a Word document. I'll do both so you can see the difference. I usually leave this on because I do want to choose. If I want to upload it and keep it as a Word document, it'll keep the W. This also applies to PowerPoint and Excel. It'll keep the Excel file, it'll keep the PowerPoint, and now in my Drive I have a Word document. But this is a Word document, and you can see it, but you can't really edit it because you didn't choose to convert it. Now it keeps the formatting intact, which is great, but you can't really edit it. So if you want to edit it, you have to upload it as a Google Doc. And the way you do that is you click convert. And now it's not just going to upload it, but it's also going to convert the file into a Google Doc. And here you see the difference. So this one is the one that became a Google Doc. You can see the icon's different. I can click on it, and Some of the formatting may be changed, but for the most part, it'll be the same. So that's a quick overview of Google Docs. Thanks.